I'm Michelle Ely from the Starlight Tribune, an Arrow TV show fan podcast, part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other amazing geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Good thing this is a live show.
People can hear us, but I have lost my short intro. I guess I do my reinstall after our last live, or did I just delete it by accident? That's weird.
I don't know. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, let me just do a little copy paste in Stream Deck here. Copy,
Okay.
paste. Or it's not copying and pasting. Why is it not copying and pasting? Okay, hold on. Oh, well, we can just pretend that it's there. Oh, here we go. This is going to work. High quality production.
I guess so. Yeah. This is just us hanging out, answering questions. Hey, we got Heather, we got Ling Ling Wannabe, Newsreel, SP's missing beard. I do miss my beard, that's for sure. Johnny Pennington's with us tonight, Sandrax, Liberty Dude, and BNB, aka Bang's Naughty Bits. Hey, Ling Ling's first time. Hey, we're happy to have you here. Do you have any questions about podcasting? As soon as Steven figures out the intro,
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. It's stupid that I went through all of this for this. Welcome to another episode of Better Podcasting live chat coffee side with SP and SJ. I said coffee side. That should be fireside, but I don't want to talk about the RIP service. I am here today to talk with SP about podcasting. If you haven't checked this out before, this is where we do our live chat. That's what we do. We talk about podcasting, and every other week we do this live Q&A/general chat. SP is the one that gives you the real answers, and I give you the joke answers.
Or sometimes it's the other way around, because I can joke around too.
That's true. And your jokes are far better. Yeah, if you haven't been to our Discord yet, you should check out our Discord. Our Discord server is at betterpodcasting.com/Discord. And we do have a lot of ongoing chat there. So it's great in between the shows if you want to talk podcasting gear and other things. If you didn't check out our last full episode, you should check that out, because in that we talk about if you're going to start a podcast related to filling time during this COVID-19 self-isolation. But there's some other things that I think you could take away from there as well, if you were wanting to just do a little bit of a podcast in order to just fill some time. We'd love to know what your thoughts were about that. That was one that was pretty specifically not evergreen content, and we haven't had many of those. So I look forward to getting the feedback from people on that. SP, what's been going on in your world of podcasting this week?
I've been catching up with my editing for Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I've also been working. I'm one of those essential workers. I have to go to work. I was at work today. And let me tell you, going to work with a bunch of people wearing masks, I mean, if I was working in a bank, I'd be worried.
You know, I was thinking about the mask situation, and I was really worried if all of a sudden podcasters decided to wear the masks while they were podcasting. We'd end up with a bunch of podcasts like this.
I thought about doing it, but I thought, no, it's just, I have to wear it all day. And by the way, the self-made ones really don't have any breathability. And if you're wearing glasses, the steam goes up and it fogs up your glasses and that sort of stuff. It makes work pretty sporty, that's for sure. But I'm glad to be home. I'm glad to be podcasting with you and just hanging out with our listeners, answering questions and just talking general podcasting stuff. It's going to be pretty cool. I showed, by the way, since we recorded last week with our regular episode, I actually showed my Studio B that I created for my daughter.
You did a great job. And if you want to check that out, it is posted at betterpodcasting.com. Go ahead and check that out at betterpodcasting.com. SP, let's talk a little bit about something that let's get it out of the way right away. Let's drop the something or another. I can't think of a proper
Curtain?
saying. No, not the curtain. Let's just drop the hammer. I think the
Drop the
hammer.
hammer?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
We'll
Why not?
drop
Because we're not
something.
going to do a mic drop.
No, we'll drop something. And it's
Okay.
all about the the Zoom.
Really?
The Zoom H6.
Okay.
It's all about the Zoom H6. So if you didn't know this, we're big fans of the Zoom H6. I've got a Zoom H6, SP's got a Zoom H6, and we like them because the form factor is good. They've been reliable for us, and they're a good way to portably multi-track record podcasting. It is something that we've been a huge fan of this over the years. And obviously we have other recommendations now for someone who's not doing portable stuff, but it is a thing that worked well for us for a while. And there are some people who still like it because it's simple and easy to use. Well, apparently there's a black version. So this was something that one of our Discord users did go and post on our Discord and said that there was a black version, and we were wondering what was up with that. And we had a little bit of a chat back and forth about that.
You know, I actually saw before that post, I actually saw it on Instagram, and I think I sent you the link on Instagram for Zoom's announcement of the H6 Black, and we were both like, I wonder what's on this. Well, that was the big question in our Discord. It's like, okay, you got this H6 Black. What else is different about it aside from the price, which is through the roof? I was hoping that there was something new in it in order to justify the price. And we got so curious about this that Steven, in his, stay-at-home time off that he's having, he's not working at all.
I am working at home. Thank you very much.
So he actually contacted Zoom and said, what up?
Yeah, and to be clear, this Zoom H6 looks exactly like the other one except black. And before I give the answer, I would like to highlight the fact that there was an Instagram post. There was a big page made on when you go to zoom-na.com. You see Zoom H6 Black, but there was no real official announcement. Other than that, there was no blog post. They always do that. There was no big Facebook video or Facebook post about it. It was just like, we're going to throw this out here, but not give you much information about it. So I was very, very surprised, and we did a little bit of spec comparison on the two pages between them, and they looked very similar. So I did reach out to them on Facebook, and I asked the following. Hello, I was wondering if there are any specific differences between the original.
No, hold on. Not specific. Specification.
Sorry, you're right. Specification differences between the original Zoom H6 and the Zoom H6 Black, or is this just a color difference? And the response.
Well, before we get there, the speculation on my part was maybe they upgraded the preamps because you
were the only one that speculated that.
Right. They have introduced new preamps. So I was like, okay, maybe that would justify, because the price went up like $50, $70, something like that. So the price went up back to the original price of the Zoom H6. So I was thinking, okay, it might be that, or it might be some sort of firmware upgrade, but I would assume that the original H6 could get that. I mean, there was a few speculations on what it could be. So we were thinking there might be a difference. And the answer, Steven,
is that I feel like you need to do a drum roll. I really do feel like
you want me to do a drum roll? You want me to do it on the microphone, on my chest, on the desk? What do you want me to do?
I think that you should do it right now, right there, because I need like 2 more seconds as I quickly have this idea to quickly do this so that the video viewer can go ahead and follow along as I announce that quote. It is only a color/body difference. That was their official response. And for the video viewer, I did go and put the screenshot in there just so that, people know that I'm not talking through my what. And that's why it was so awkward right there as I was pausing as I realized I should probably put this on screen. But yes, that's the conversation. If you want to go to betterpodcasting.com, eventually this video will be up there and you can see the, which way is it? That way. You could see the message. Yeah. Disappointing. That's what I'll say.
I don't know what the body difference. It looked like the same body to me. I'll have to go back and look specifically if there's any body difference, but maybe they're just saying, well, it's colored different, so it's a body difference.
But the good news is we can make our podcast better because now I've put a screenshot of this
I like it.
on there. And for the audio listener, it's now covering my face. And I think that's how we're going to continue this show.
Yeah, I think that would be. Yeah, don't put a lip hole in there or anything. Just keep it like that. I think it's good. Yeah.
Fair enough. No, I do think though, the price difference is probably because the H6 being around so long probably did go through a natural price decrease, and so it just kind of ended up leveling out at a certain spot, and now this is new, so it's back up there. But I don't know why I would recommend it. I don't.
What's the price now? It's $3.99 or $4.99?
I didn't even follow other than what you said.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to look that up because for that price, at that price level, you're not going up too much to get a L12 or go down, I guess, a little bit and get an L8 or get a Rodecaster Pro. So, I mean, it's in the same price range. Why would you get an H6 other than the extreme portability? And by extreme portability, I mean, it runs on batteries and you can put it in a bag really easily.
Okay, so I'm on B&H Photo right now, and I am looking, and the Zoom H6 Black shows as new release in stock $349, and then when I look the Zoom H6 regular, which I think does it have an extra thing here or not? Anyways, it's $329. It says, but
so it
I
went
know
up $20.
I've seen a lot more deals out there, so we'll see. But I guess some people do want the color preference. I'm not sure, unless like you said, maybe there is something different with the body that we overlooked. I can't see anything, but that's not to say I didn't miss something.
If it's not going to be a functionality difference, then why?
Yeah. People do like though their visuals of their equipment. They do like that.
Well, it was a pretty web page. So I went through the whole web page looking for, okay, what's new in this? And I was looking for the preamps. I was really searching hard for preamps because better preamps is always great. Although I would think better preamps would decrease the battery life, maybe, because more power to them or something like that. Anyway, I went through it all and I went through their videos and I saw people walking around taking sound audio of like buses and pinball machines and stuff like that with it, and then use it in a studio. But they did show a couple of podcasters, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was with Shure SM7Bs.
Yes, but here's the thing. As Johnny Pennington in our live chat, which we do stream this live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, he says, quote, "Now I own the H6 Classic," end quote. That's great. I like it. We have retro equipment, SP. Yes.
Well, we have a lot of retro equipment, and we got the Knox podcasting microphone. And we've got the Logitech C920, which is going for like $300 on Amazon right now because everybody bought them out. And I guess even like the ATR 2100 and the AT 2005 are hard to find now. So yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. And if we sold our equipment, we could retire.
You know, I actually can't find my second C922. I just came across it a little bit ago, and then I went and I thought I put it away because I took it to work to do a project a while ago, and then I realized
somebody stole it and sold it.
Worse, I realized that I had been packing it back and forth in my work laptop bag, just in it loosely, and so I know. Anyways, I gave it a try. It was fine. But the thing is, I went and I'm like, well, let me put that away. And now I can't find it. And everybody's making these posts about how cameras are hard to find. So we'll find out. I wanted to take a moment here.
Wait a minute. You're equating your lost camera to the webcams being hard to find on the internet.
Yeah.
That is not an equal distribution, sir.
It's somewhere. And it's my second one too.
I don't know. I got like 4 or 5 of them in the house just because they're on different computers. By the way, I mentioned I have a Studio B last time. I also mentioned I have a Studio C. So I'm thinking there's going to be another studio tour this week.
You just reminded me. I think I own 2 C920s. I think I've lost two. I think I've got two somewhere in this house. I've lost
So you
two.
have two C920s and then a C922.
Yeah, I use the C922 primarily, but I think I might have one in my travel bag. I should go have a look.
Liberty Dude posted, anyone ever find out why they discontinued the Knox microphone? I don't know for sure. I actually contacted the company, as you knew in that video. I would just gather that they got into some sort of cease and desist because it became known and they just didn't want to go out and fight that battle. So they just stopped making.
I would guess it was less organized. This is my guess. Same idea, but I think what happened was whoever manufactured these, someone came in, because let's be honest, they're not probably manufactured locally. Someone came in.
China.
Someone came in and they went, here is a box of cash. Please make this product for us with a different brand for a one-time production.
Okay.
And that's what they did. And then that was it. And that's my guess. But I could be wrong on that. Who knows? That's just a random Steven conspiracy theory. But can we continue on this hardware talk right now?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Okay, so I had a discovery, and it is something that some people might actually have interest in. You made me clue into the solve to a problem that I have been facing for a couple of weeks now, about 3 weeks.
Really? A gender reassignment surgery? You're finally going to get it?
It's to do with my in-ear monitors.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's to do with my in-ear monitors. And as I mentioned before, just like headphones, in-ear monitors do need some work. I've talked before occasionally that you know, I went and I bought myself a bunch of ear tips. And they last quite a while. I got a pack of ear tips right here. So that's kind of
what size do you use? Because they come in different sizes.
I don't remember. I figured out the one that I needed and I ordered it. And I remembered that I did that on Amazon. I actually spent $2 more on Amazon than to go locally. Number one, because I'm lazy, but number two, then I have the paper trail when I need to reorder. So it's in my order history.
Well, $2 worth of Canadian gas. I mean, that would get you down the block and back. So I mean, you're making up that amount. I mean, even with the price of gas down,
true,
that gets you maybe 2 blocks.
So anyways, I went and I did that. I think it's large, but so those are kind of the equivalent to your you know, on your headphones, how you have pads. But like headphones, other things sometimes go. Sometimes your headband, you've heard of that start to fray, or you've heard of a cord getting a little bit worn out, and you hear these things, and the in-ear monitors are no different. In fact,
wait a minute. Do you actually hear them if your in-ear monitors start to wear out?
Yes.
Okay.
So anyways, in-ear monitors, I would say, are arguably more subject to this because of the fact that they are smaller. And the thing to consider with in-ear monitors is that they are meant to be flexible if you buy a pair that are proper. So they're meant that you can go and you can bend them to around your ear and they'll sit in there. Well, unfortunately, once you've been using them for, I don't know, I think I've had them 3 years now, I think.
3?
At least 2, I think.
2.
I'm going to look it up when you talk.
Can you hear me, first of all? Can you hear me?
Right now I can because I turned my speakers on. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if it was your birthday or Christmas gift.
It was a birthday gift, and I will find out here in a moment if you'd let me finish my story. Story time with Stephen John Drew.
I don't know if it's ever good to let you finish a story.
Okay, so I can't figure it out. I'll figure it out eventually, but it was 3 years ago. It was 2017 I got them, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that's 3 years ago. Wow.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, but anyways, it was 3 years ago. So I've been using them for 3 years, and quick Google search shows that episode 93 I talked about those, so that was a long time ago.
You know, just with regular headphones, that's about the time that the ear cups start wearing out. If you're using it consistently, like you're using them at least twice a week.
Exactly. So here's my point. Here's my problem. Is this just happened and it started on one side and on another is because they are meant to be bendable. There is metal in them, and
clean out your earwax, dude, and don't show it on camera.
There is supposed to be metal in it, and the metal has broken around my around my ear. So now while they work, they're not the most comfortable thing in the world. And this just came up within the last couple of weeks. Now,
can you use like that bike handlebar tape to try to cushion it a little bit so it doesn't bite into your ear as much?
I could, but the thing is,
huge. You like Mickey Mouse ears.
The one ear is okay. It's the other that is a little more ouchy. But you reminded me of something. You dropped a link to me that Shure came out with a new version of their Bluetooth IEMs. And this isn't the first time they've done them. If you look at the basic IEMs that I've got, the Shure SE215s, they actually make the SE215s B, I think it's something stupid like BK. I don't think it's even BT, but it's the Bluetooth version. Essentially
Burger King version.
I know, right? But they do make a Bluetooth version. So this isn't new to them, but Bluetooth does evolve quite quickly. So it's SE215KBT1. That's what it is. But they do make a Bluetooth version, and now they're doing it again, but they're getting in with this low profile trend, right? And so what they did was they have these things that just basically one on each side, just like you would imagine any other wireless headphones right now where they are low profile, except these go around your ears. The thing that you should remember with IEMs is that the headphone piece, the actual ear, the technology basically is meant to disconnect. So they actually do pop off of the cords. And that's the thing with the Bluetooth version that they just released, and I don't have the model number. They do brand them as compatible with Shure IEMs. So if I wanted to, I could get just the individual wireless transmitter receiver, pop off my actual earpieces, like the actual, I guess, speakers, and plug them onto those Bluetooth sender and receiver, which made me remember that 3 years ago, I remembered coming across the fact that you could buy the cable for $35 US. So I put an order in on Amazon, so a little more obviously Canadian fee, but I didn't want to go buy a new pair of IEMs because they're about $130, $150 Canadian. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well diversify, my interest. I'm always interested in looking at different technologies so we can speak about it. And so I started to look at some of the Mackies, some of the, I think Yamahas, and I was thinking about going another way rather than just buying what I already had, even though I like it, again, just out of interest sake. But I remembered that. So anyways, that was my solve. You brought me to that realization and remembering that I could get the cord that is part of the headphones for 40 something Canadian. So again, I looked it up, $35 US, and just pop my actual individual ear things onto there, and I'm back basically to new. So it's great. I was so glad that you kind of made me follow that train of thought. And for $35 American, it's actually probably works out cheaper with the price I got it in Canada than if you did that math. But let's say $35 American. After 3 years, I didn't think that's a bad investment.
No, I think that's pretty good, especially if you can keep going with them. Now, you brought up Bluetooth headphones, and there's a bunch of questions in the chat about why they're bad for podcasting because of latency, that sort of thing. I actually bought, and I was just trying to look for where I scored them. It was probably on some sort of slick deals. I got a pair of over-the-ear Bluetooth noise-canceling cheap headphones. Like they were like $50 or something like that. I think they were Anchors or Onkers, and they're great for like mowing the lawn or doing yard work. But I was trying them out because my new TV has Bluetooth compatibility. And every once in a while, I like watch TV when everybody else has gone to sleep because it's dark in the house, whatever. And then I get the full theater experience. Well, my new TV has Bluetooth compatibility with it. So instead of my cordless headphones, you actually plug them into the headphone base and then you listen to it. Now I can do it with Bluetooth. So I thought, okay, I'll give this a try just to see if it works. Now, truth be told, I haven't tried to hook it up to the TV yet, but I have been using it for outside when I'm doing yard work and stuff like that. Noise canceling isn't the best. I have some Bose QC25s and they work great, but they're corded. I don't have the 35s. I don't have the new Sony 1005 WHX or whatever it is. I don't have the new Sony ones that are supposed to be the best ever. I just was trying to do the cheap. It was, like I said, $50 or $29 or something like that. They're regularly $150 or $199. I got them really cheap. Unfortunately, they got a lot of static to them. I mean, not like a tremendous amount, but they got some static to them. So for podcasting, I'd be worried about, am I hearing actual static in the line, or am I just hearing the static because these are a cheap pair of Bluetooth headphones?
Well, there is it's important to note as well that there is different versions of the Bluetooth profile. So there's the Bluetooth aptX HD, but there's also the aptX LL, which is low latency. And I have had a chance to try the Bluetooth I think it was Bluetooth 5 aptX LL, and it still was annoying to speak through. So I did actually have a chance to give those a try. And while it was a heck of a lot better than any other Bluetooth that I had, it still kind of made you feel a little bit drunk as you were speaking, and it just wasn't there yet. So it's still, as far as I've seen, it's still not there. And I think you'd probably be looking more towards doing these Bluetooth options if you were just wanting to use them for music listening or whatever.
Yeah, so I found out what I bought. They were $65 Bluetooth headphones, a Soundcore Life 2 active noise canceling over the ear wireless headphones by Anker. I think it's Anker, right? Anker, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
anyway, sure. I just did it, and I'm glad I did, because now I can advise people not to get cheap Bluetooth headphones, because you're going to have issue, at least for podcasts.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have noise, or you conceivably could have noise issues, which could skew your ability to monitor what you're actually trying to record.
I agree. So anyways, thanks. I wanted to mention that because that was something that just a few weeks ago when this came up, I thought that I had to move on to another pair of IEMs. And I think it just goes to show that sometimes if you sit on something for a little while, you might find a solution to not have to go totally new. And again, I would rather pay that than a whole new pair of IEMs, because I've been happy with the quality. And if I do want to buy new IEMs, I think I would like to be in a position to buy the next level up to be able to talk about it again, because I'd like to be able to speak a little bit more. But I don't need that for my setup. I don't. It would really only be for educational purposes.
Yeah. So in my Studio B, I actually hooked it up with a Moto M2. One thing that I've noticed is, unless you have some sort of advanced DAW or video recording, it will only record left or right. There's no way to get it to mono unless you do latency or loop back, and you're going to get latency through the loop back. But it works fine. The preamps works fine and that sort of stuff. Because it runs off a USB, I would rather try the iRig. I think it's the Duo, the iRig Duo. I'd rather do that than this because of portability issues. This is a little bit bigger. However, I mean, it's what I have. It's what I used. And in truth be told, I got it because my son got it. And I thought, well, might as well check it out, because I've been looking for audio interface like this. So I might as well check it out in case he has any questions. He did. He ran into that left-right issue. So did I. And I don't think in the programs that he was using to record that we're able to fix that. So it's either you do the loop back and it comes out of both channels, or you do the left or right, or, channel 1 or 2, which is stereo left or right. So we did that. But because I ordered from Sweetwater, as you can't find them right now on Amazon, a couple of days later, and I order stuff from Sweetwater from time to time, so I don't know if this had anything to do with the order, but I got a Sweetwater catalog. And, growing up, I had the Sears catalog for Christmas. You had catalogs. And so they're great, except for they just ended up in the end table or on the end table or a mountain, and then you ended up either recycling them, like recycling phone books, or you end up burning them in the fireplace. I don't know what use it is for them to send a catalog to a podcaster. I get sending a catalog to a musician because musicians are on the road. They have something that they can page through. I get that, but I don't get sending a catalog to a podcaster.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that they're really questionable about how they have spent their marketing budget on that, because I bought one thing from them ever, and it was a $9 plugin. And last year I got the catalog. And again, I live in Canada. Sweetwater isn't exactly marketed towards Canadians.
No, it's not.
You send me this catalog, and I paid one $9 plugin.
The shipping to Canada alone has got to be more than $9.
So I don't know. I thought it was odd, but I guess who knows though? You never know. Never know. We had a question in the chat, and it was from Jorge, and he asked why I was not using the BP40 anymore. So anybody who's binge listening to Better Podcasting chat sessions, Fireside with Steven and SP, whatever we call this, will have heard me already mention this before. I think it was the first or the second one, but I will just recap right now. Mostly came to taking some feedback to heart, and not justifiably. Someone made a comment about me, and I felt like I needed to do what I could to help myself hear myself a little bit better, and I felt like the clarity alleviated something that was to do with that feedback, and it all came down to just a bad decision. And I say a bad decision because I'm a big believer in not letting trolls get to you, and I let a troll get to me. So I'll go and say it right now. I felt it was a bad decision on my part. That's a knee-jerk reaction right there. But I did, and then I just continued because I've always been a fan of the Procaster sound. Even before I owned it, I actually, it was one of my shortlisted microphones.
It's good on your voice. That's right.
And so I kept it. Also, the mount is better than the one I use for the BP40. If I go back to the BP40, which, by the way, for the audio listener, I'm holding up because I keep it right here, ready to go back home. I don't.
It's like whenever I take the 320 off the stand, it's right here on the desk.
Exactly. I don't use the real stand, but if I do, I should probably go back to I should probably buy the proper shock mount for it. But I don't know. I don't. And that's the thing, is I don't right now have a reason to go back because I'm relatively happy with the Procaster sound. I also, from an inside speaking to hobbyist perspective, there is a large price difference between the BP40 and the Rodecaster, or the Rode Procaster. And so I feel like the Procaster is more attainable for hobbyists. So I do feel like that's also a good thing to keep using, but I might go back at some point. I still like the BP40.
I can think of one other thing, in that your pop filter arrangement.
I have that on the BP40.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
I did. Yep, I did. It fits actually better on the BP40.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a custom pop filter for those who aren't familiar. I went and I took a pop filter from I don't know how you say it, AUKEY. I drilled a hole in it so that I could fit a pop filter rod that I had from another third-party one, and I just merged it all together and made it happen. But yeah, anyways, I don't really have anything else to say about that, but that's why I did. And one day I might go back home. I'm caressing it for the audio listener.
I think as soon as you're just going to fall in love with it over again, you're going to keep it on the stand for 6, 9, 12 months, whatever. And until we get another microphone to review, then you'd be like, oh, I'll keep it right here.
Don't you think, though, it's time for me to start doing the annual mic cycle where I go and I give them all a go again? I should.
How many years have we been doing it? It's closer to 5 years, right?
I know.
So for at least 4 of those 5 years, I have taken like the first half of the year and done the mic shuffle. And then like mid-year, you're like, oh, I got to do it too. I keep coming back to this Electro Voice RE320. There has been no other microphone for my ears that sounds as good to me as the Electro Voice RE320. Other people might disagree and want to hear me on a different microphone, but I keep coming back to this. So unless I'm moving up, I'm staying on this thing.
I'm sorry. There's one microphone that you haven't done yet that you just can't say, and until you say that, you can only assume the best, and that it sounds better, and it's the Heil PR40. I'm sorry if you haven't tried it, you can't knock on it. So unfortunately,
I can knock on it. I can knock on it because I know Bob Heil and I know how he tuned it. He tuned it for FM.
Yeah.
It's great on a voice like it honestly is. It's great on a voice like yours, where you don't have a lot of low end and it's accentuating the low end. And for me, it's just going to muddle my voice. I'm not going to do it.
I actually don't even think that it sounds that good on my voice, but yeah, I'll maybe next week.
That's
fine. Should I dig it out? Should I start on the PR40 next week?
Because every time you do, you like in 2 weeks, you go right back to whatever microphone you want to
use. Yeah.
Johnny says, yes, I do want the RE20. Yes, I do. And unfortunately, I had some emergency spending I had to do earlier this year. And this COVID-19 made me spend more money. So I'm at a point where no, I'm not going to get the RE20 this year, probably. Yeah.
I still have a theory that you're not going to like it. I don't know. My gut tells me you're not going to like it.
And that's a very real possibility, which is why I'm not chomping at the bit to actually go into debt to go get it, because I'm fine with how my voice sounds here. Now I say that, and this is chomping on 5 years old.
Right.
So at some point, these microphones start to degrade and you have to refresh your equipment. So at some point, I'm going to have to get a new one. And I would say somewhere between the 5 to 10 range. And this thing's been on the stand for 5 years. It's not like it's been in a case.
Well, and the other thing that I think is really worth considering is in the chat, Liberty Dude is saying, do you think the RE20 will knock your RE320 off its pedestal? I think it's again important to remember who we talk to here a lot, and let's assume the best. Let's assume he gets the RE20. He goes, I can't believe I used that RE320 for the last 3 years, the last 5 years, whatever it was. I can't believe it. This is RE20. I should have got it sooner. It's so much better. I sound so clear. I sound exactly like that legendary voice that he has in his head. SP will still continue to recommend the RE320 to our audience because of the fact that the RE320 is much more attainable for the majority of the people we talk to on this show.
Yeah, and there are aspects of the 320. I also like the Rode Procaster, which you're using right now. There are aspects of the 320 because it's almost the same price, or it's a little bit more to go up to the 320 just for the microphone.
Right. There
are aspects of the 320 that outclass the Rode Procaster in some instances. I mean, the pop filter alone, where you can, it's a BSW exclusive, but you can get it. The shock mount is because I got the brand new shock mount with mine, and my microphone, which is even on the stand, actually it is. It's on a stand back there. It started to droop within a year. Right. So you need to get new bands for the shock mount. These shock mount bands, eventually I'll need to replace. Looks like it's drooping a little bit. But like I said, it's been on here for 5 years. They are a lot more robust. Now this mount is huge that goes on it.
It's massive.
At 309A. So that's actually a detriment. But I don't think it was ever meant really to be used from a boom arm. I think it was meant to be used on a table stand. And this would have propped it up a little bit more, and I could see that. But anyway, is the RE20 going to knock this out of my microphone stand? It might because of the voice. In my recommendation too, it might because of voiceover. If you're doing voiceover stuff, if you're doing animation and that sort of stuff. And the RE20 is that much more of a quality sound for your voice over the 320. That might make me recommend it a little bit more. And I know Bandrew prefers it. He prefers the 20. Although I listened to over on Podcastage, I listened to his giant microphone shootout, and I got to tell you, he did value the 320, but I actually, in comparison, valued the 320 more. And this goes back to personal taste.
Yeah.
Where my like in what I want to hear is different from what Bandrew wants to hear.
I've said it
Eh,
for a very, very long time that my opinion of the RE320 is it has a very artificial sound. I don't think that it sounds
yeah,
natural by any
no,
means. I think everybody who uses one has a very similar upper range pattern where I don't want to use the word distorted, but I don't want to use the word digital, but it's somewhere in there where it's like it's artificial, and I hear it on everybody that uses it. But I also like to quickly, when I say that, highlight back to the fact that there are people who love the PR40 because it has this like super cliche broadcast sound, and everybody has their own specific sound
yeah,
that they're aiming for.
and in their own voice too. So different. I backed away from different microphones are crap because it depends on your voice, and it goes back. We even said it on the show a few episodes ago, which was we need to go out and try microphones, especially the more expensive microphones. We talked about renting the microphone or going out and doing it in a store. I think that's the only way that you're going to find out if it's for you or if it's not. Now, Stephen and I have actually had the opportunity to have a lot of these microphones in studio. One microphone, the rest of Mike,
You can say
one
that one's
microphone.
crap.
Yeah. One microphone that I had to get rid of because it made my voice sound so muddy was the Shure SM7B. I had to get rid of that. I could not stand it in my studio. And I'm glad I got rid of it. And as a matter of fact, that same microphone you got to use too, and it
Mhm.
is not in your studio right now for a
No,
variety of reasons, but you wouldn't be using it on a week-to-week basis either.
no, I don't think I would have come back to it a couple times for sure
Yeah.
as a test, but yeah. Anyways, we just wanted to, I guess, talk a little bit of gear today. I guess that's where we wanted to
Yeah,
talk.
I guess so. I mean, if any, we have time for one last question. If anybody has a one last question about podcasting in general that is not hardware related, we'll definitely take it. In the meantime, we're getting ready to have another podcast next week. We're not going to take any time off, and we're going to keep on going through. Because of everything going on, I'll admit I have not been able to get the extra content that we've wanted to. This was unexpected for us this year. We wanted to take every other week off so that we could produce extra content.
Mhm.
And just for me personally, I found it very difficult because I've been having to deal with other things. I had to move my daughter back early. I had to set up my other daughter so she could teach. I had to deal with work. I'm an essential worker at work, so I have to deal with all that. My wife is essential. She's having to work 6 days a week now, not just 5 days a week.
Mhm.
So things get backed up and you have to take care of more home life. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that extra content like we promised we were going to.
Been
I did
weird.
do the studio tour last week, and I'll do another one this week. But yeah, there's just there's so much that's being affected by this, and I feel stupid by saying, well, because of this, I can't do extra content. But it's true, and I'm so glad we're doing content every other week. But we haven't stopped, and we're not planning on it.
Nope. But I also will highlight right now that we're all about transparency here. It is exhausting mentally for lots of people right now, with everything going on in the world, and so some days I just want to crack a beer, sit on my couch, and watch the latest rerun of The Bachelor. No real,
No,
no new ones. No.
that's not going to happen. Bang says, how do I make all that podcast money? Honestly, you can't right now. There's just not a lot of money rolling around. I was listening to some podcasts that have very robust, like Patreons and self-funding and stuff like that. And they're all saying they're down right now. And people have literally lost their jobs right now. So
Yep.
I don't think that podcasting for money right now is a very good short-term goal at all. I think it would put you back far more than what you're going to make in the short term. Now, if you're aiming for a longer term plan, if you want to do that, there are ways to do that. We don't really advocate it because we are a hobby. We're advocating for the fun of it, but I realize there's an industry out there for podcasting making money. I just don't think that now is a great time. Listenership is down. Self-funded Patreon crowdfunding is down. So yeah, I know he might have asked that question in jest, but I feel just wanted to address it.
So thanks everybody for coming on by. Oh, you know what? Let's take one more minute to address the copyright strike. Should we address the copyright strike?
Please,
Because
that is
we
a
mentioned
learning
it. Okay.
experience. Yeah.
So I mentioned a couple of Q&As ago that the Gonna Geek show had a copyright strike happen. So not strike, a copyright notice. There's a difference between a notice and a strike on YouTube. And what happened was that I did a little joke. I forget what episode it was, but long story short, there was a joke that I made. I said that we have a live Gonna Geek show house band that performs the intro and the outro. So in between episodes, the next episode, I went and I filmed myself in front of a green screen playing a bunch of rock band instruments very poorly to the intro and the outro. And I put that together and I made that the gag for that following episode. Well, I also said that I was going to go and release it in the full version because I did more than just a little bit of the music that you have on screen. I did the whole thing where, like, cause like we have here where the music continues on after we actually open here. Same thing on the Gonna Geek show. And when I put that out there, I guess because there was no talking over it, the algorithms quickly got it, which, by the way, is not saying that you get away with using copywritten music by talking over it. It's just the way that this one happened to be, because it was our intro music that was flagged. Now, I am cleared to use it. I made sure I was cleared to use it, but when I went to the source of where I got it, I put in actually on Google the source website, and then I put YouTube claim, I think is what I did. And right away they had a phenomenal video about, we know this happens sometimes. There's nothing we can do about it. Our experience is basically follow these steps and you'll be released. And very informative video, very well done, very clear, very, very polite. And so I did that. And then I checked a couple weeks because what it did was YouTube, after I submitted the dispute, and all I had to put in there was license from and then the website. So anyways, when I did the dispute, it said that the creator had up to like a month to respond. Yeah. And so I checked the first couple weeks and it was still there. And then I thought, well, I guess at this point, no news is good news and I'll just keep waiting. And then I went and I looked today and it was cleared. And the thing was, when I put this video together, actually, I showed it to my wife. So I uploaded it to my personal channel as well, just so I could go and pull it up and show her elsewhere without SP seeing it, because he has access to the Gonna Geek YouTube channel, right? So yeah. I did it personally, and I had also noticed that one also was flagged. So I did the dispute the same day on both my personal YouTube and the Gonna Geek YouTube, and they are both cleared today. And when you go to the copyright section, it actually says there is no claims against this video. So it obviously was released, but just to know, it's worth knowing, sometimes even if you do license the music properly, YouTube algorithms and other algorithms can come up and rear their ugly head, and it happens, and you got to go through the process and hope that you're cleared like I was. And from this page, it seems like it does occasionally happen, and I can understand it. When you're a company that's dealing with licensing from thousands and thousands of different artists, I guess it's bound to happen somewhere.
Well, and YouTube sent most of their workforce home, and they announced a couple of weeks ago that it was going to be more automatic reviews and not in-person reviews. So they admitted that there were going to be some mistakes. Now, full disclosure, this happened way before YouTube sent people home, but it is an ongoing issue.
Right.
This copyright notifications and strikes and stuff like that.
So I thought I'd mention that here, but yeah, it's worth knowing, because not just here, like Facebook, it can happen as well. They have algorithms, and we've said before, there's other algorithms that are crawling podcasts. So just be prepared if you have purchased something or you've used something that you are able to do. Keep yourself a paper trail. Ideally, if you have purchased it, you should be given a licensing piece of like a PDF or something. Save that somewhere for your records.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't just keep it on your email. Make sure you download it and maybe even print out a copy.
Yeah.
In the end, it might be a lot of money for you. So make sure you keep that around. Anyway, Stephen, I think that's it for us tonight.
It is. So for episode number X of X, It's 5 of the live, but we don't. It's weird because we have better podcasting proper.
Above the live. Nice.
I'm Stephen John Drew saying that's 5 live episodes in the can. SP is more alive than me.
I'm SP saying I'll see everybody next week, but in 2 weeks we'll do this again. If you have questions, feel free to ask us anytime, especially on our Discord server. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Better Podcasting. You can find the full back catalog of Better Podcasting at betterpodcasting.com. If you're into geeky podcasts, please check out the other podcasts on the Gonna Geek Network at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. This show was produced and edited by Stephen John Drew of Gonna Geek Productions. Voice work was done by L.W. Salinas. Thanks again for listening or watching, and we hope to see you again next week.
All right, everybody, we're going to go. Thanks for coming on by, and have yourself a safe rest of your week. And please, if you are not on our Discord, we would love to have you over there, betterpodcasting.com/Discord. We have lots of different chats going on. Sometimes it's gear related, and there's other channels as well where sometimes it's just general chat. Bye.
General chat.